We are rooted in our community. Streamers and creators, they are our trunk. Those of us who follow loyally are the limbs and branches. The saying root and branch is defined as entirely or wholly, which is why I chose this name for my new platform. For the streamers and creators that will be my guests are 100% in on making a change, speaking their minds, and expanding others. Welcome to Root and Branch. I disappeared. What happened? No, I'm kidding. Hi, everybody. Thank you all for coming. You know, I appreciate you, even though there's about 2/3 of you that will be here in a little bit and have not arrived yet because we're atheists and we're all late. It's fine. So I'm going to go and bring out my first guest tonight. I think a few of you might recognize her. This is going to be a lot of fun because these three are hilarious. This is going to be a great night. Here we go. Hello, Miss Cynthia.
Hey, B.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I am doing great. Busy Monday at work. Ready to get some streaming done and have some fun, lady. Look how nice you look today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Some color going on. I like it.
Thank you. This is so not how I come out the house mostly. I decided to do something different. I said, I'm meeting a person today at said place of employment, and I think I'm going to put on something kind of colorful.
There you go.
Because why not?
I mean, why not? You only live once.
You know,
we're at the point now that people aren't judging us because we wear a bright color or all black or anything. That doesn't fucking matter anymore. So you be you, baby. And you look great. So
thank you, B.
And I do have to say, I've missed your face.
Oh, thank you, my goodness, B. I miss your face too.
You're amazing. I see you everywhere, but I never get to talk to you anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Because you're everywhere.
Does that make me God?
No. Not all at once.
Oh, okay.
Just randomly everywhere. Although you'd be a better role model than what I've seen. But anyways, we won't get into that. So, okay, so this is what we do. I'm going to ask you just basically what your family dynamic was growing up. Siblings, where you grew up, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with it, just tell me you're not comfortable. We can move on from that. So, tell me about your family dynamic.
Okay, so I have 2 older sisters, and I'm a daughter of an immigrant. My mom's from Jamaica. My dad's from the South.
Ooh.
Yeah, specifically from Memphis, Tennessee. I am, hey everybody, I am the last, as my mother would call me, I'm the wash belly baby.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know because I said, what the hell does that mean? And basically, wash belly, that's shit that Caribbeans say. It basically means that, like, you're the belly, like the last kid that this kind of like washed out of you is the very last one, and you ain't going back for thirds.
That's me then.
Yeah.
I'm 7. Nobody goes after. No, we stop. Yeah.
Well, I was actually surprised. They was not planning me whatsoever. My second oldest sister was kind of planned, but me, no. So my parents were, my eldest sister was already here, and then my second oldest sister came about 5 years after her. And then, so they was just like living their lives, like, how people live. And 8 years later, after my second oldest sister was born, my mom goes to my dad and says, Al, that was my dad's name, Al. His real name is like Albert, but she would call him Al. She said, Al. He's like, yes. She's like, I'm pregnant. And my dad was like, huh? And then she said, I'm pregnant. And then and the first thing after she said, I'm pregnant, was my father said, well, how are we going to pay for it? I'm like,
You better figure it out as you go, man. Here
Right,
you go.
exactly. Exactly. But they did, I guess, because I made it here. And yeah, so that was kind of like a little of my background,
Okay, I can dig it.
yeah.
I can
So
dig it. So your mom was from Jamaica, and your dad was from Tennessee.
yeah. Yep.
Okay. Cool. That's
Tennessee, yeah.
awesome. So he
Yeah.
was a Southern gentleman anyway. So he went about say, "What the fuck? I don't want no other kid." So he just said, "Let's figure out how to pay for it."
Right, like, let's figure out how to pay for it. But actually, he was hoping that because I remember I have 2 older sisters, so he was hoping that
you were going to be a boy.
yeah, and I was like, nope. Surprise, surprise.
Here I am, motherfuckers.
I'm a girl.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that accident happened. I don't know what I would do if I hadn't met you. I would just be like sad and have really crappy equality streams. No, I'm kidding.
My God,
I don't know. Oh, so you did the whole typical like grew up. Was there any kind of like big craziness that affected your life growing up?
Big craziness that affected my life. Well, I would say that some of the craziness that kind of affected my life was, well, my parents split when I was 5. So I had to get used to the whole back and forth between dad and mom and dad, and who gonna pick me up, and then who am I gonna stay with, and this, that, and the third. And that was kind of hard at first, but we got through it. I mean, I would definitely say that, I would enjoy going to see my dad on the weekends because, like, I would stay with him because he would sometimes on Friday nights take me to go get Chinese food.
Nice.
That was our thing. I'm pretty sure, like, I'm from Chicago. I live in Chicago, and I was born and raised here, of course.
Yeah.
And back in the 80s, like in the earlier 80s, there was this restaurant called Gum Luck that my dad and I would go to. And and like they all knew like my dad's like name and the type of stuff that he liked, and because like my dad was like a person that made friends with everybody, like
Right.
everybody, like because he was like, everybody's like, your father's so charming. I said, yeah, to you. You don't live with him. That's good.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, so we would go to like this. I never forget that. And then Gumluck closed, and we were kind of sad, so we had to find another place to go, and we ended up going to another place on Friday nights. Damn it, I wish I remembered the name of it, but I remember it was in Dalton, Illinois, which is a south suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
And so we would go there, and then like as soon as we came in, they said, "Oh, Mr. McDonald, oh, here's your daughter. Oh my goodness, how are you? Same thing. We'll get you for you. Which one do you want?"
Right.
There was no diverting. So yeah, so
am I hearing that you get your personality from him?
I think that I'm an amalgamation of my dad, my mom, and whatever the fuck.
Same.
And random shit that I picked up along the way.
Right.
Yeah,
so did your mom do like traditional cooking growing up?
She did. Now this is interesting because
I love Jamaican food. I'm so jealous.
Yeah. So yes, we did grow up like eating like Jamaican food. But here's the thing. So my mom was married to my dad for almost 20 years. So she learned how to cook soul food too. When she was married, because like all the lady folks on my dad's side, you need to learn how to make this, and you need to learn how to make that, and I need you to, learn how to make chitlins. Even though my mother never made chitlins for me, and I thank her for that every.
Not heartbroken at all, huh?
Not at all. I'll tell you that story later when I finally figured out like what a chitterling was, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. But we used to grow up. We grew up with Jamaican food and soul food, especially like around the holidays, like they would be like simultaneously. So it wasn't nothing to have like mustard and turnip greens and curry goat on the
my God. So to you, like going out for Chinese and Italian was like, yes.
That was like, yeah, that was like, oh my goodness, a diversion from what we normally get.
See, I know how to cook American and Italian food, and I go out for Jamaican because I can't cook that shit, and I love it. I love it. Chinese and Jamaican all the time, man. No, not all the time, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. That's good shit. So did you do the typical like into high school, into college thing, or how did you do it?
Yeah, it was, I had no choice. So, when I went to Catholic grammar school, because
I'm sorry.
Mom, dad they was like, you go in here. And I was like, do I get a choice? They was like, nah. I was like, damn. Okay. So that happened. So yeah. So, we ended up, doing that route, and then I went to an all-girl high school, but I actually chose that.
Okay.
I chose to go all-girl high school because, like, and here's the thing, guys, but not when you're adolescents.
You ain't until you're like 23 or over. Then you start becoming
and that's suspect in itself. So it was a lot easier. I felt like it was a lot easier for me to go to, an all girls school because like I felt like I didn't have to do this whole competing thing like some of like my other counterparts did. So and that was cool because like I would definitely say because like I didn't have to worry about, oh, what are you gonna look like? Because everybody wore uniforms, everybody had to look the same, all this stuff, and it was just and there was no pretense, right? So so I actually ended up doing a lot better academically when I wasn't, when I was in high school versus like when I was in grammar school. So that made a big, a big thing. That was So and then when I was about to finish high school, my parents were like, okay, time to pick a college. And I was like, well, I was thinking maybe I can go to a junior college for a couple of years so I can get my gens out. And, because I don't really feel like I'm ready to leave home. And my parents was like, yeah, nah, you out. Bye. Like, fuck.
Look at the time. You got to go.
Yes. Seriously, like you are 18. It's time for you to go.
You ain't got to go to college, but you can't stay here.
No, it wasn't even that. It was you ain't staying here and you're going to college. How about that? Do you have a choice here? No, it's either do that or die. I'm like, fuck. Right. Yeah, so that's what I ended up doing.
And when did you go to college for original? Well, you went to junior college, but when you went to actual college, what did you?
No.
Oh, because you skipped that. That's right. My bad.
I asked to go to junior college. They said no. I was like, damn. So I ended up going to. This is actually the first public school that I went to in all my life. I went to Eastern Illinois University, which is in Charleston, Illinois. Mm-hmm. And if you never heard of that, it's because no one would hear that.
And no one has ever. It's this big.
In the middle of corn. Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
In Central Illinois, that's what you got. You got corn. Yeah,
corn.
And then
there's some taters out there too.
Nah, not even that. Then soy.
Nope. Oh, it's so. Oh, that's right. There's soybeans. That's right.
Right. You got soybeans and you got corn, and that's it. So yeah. And then, but then I ended up transferring to Millikan University, and that's where I ended up finishing my degree. Now, Millikan University was in Decatur, Illinois. Now, if you didn't hear that, there's a good reason why, because this is Charleston and this is Decatur. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it's about the size difference. Oh, we had another baby today. Decatur is now bigger than Charleston. It's true. Decatur is not very big. I've drove all the United States, so I've been past most of those places. Now, Chicago, I hate, and I don't never want to visit again. It's too crowded for me. I can't stand big cities. I'm claustrophobic. Like, I can't.
Oh my gosh, no.
I would visit. I would come visit you.
Yeah.
But I got like a week limit.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah. After that, I got to get the hell out. I got to come back to my peace and quiet.
I feel the same way about Vegas. I got a 4-day limit,
There
and
you
then
go.
I'm ready to leave. Yep.
I'm
like
9
that with a
hours
lot of
from
places.
Vegas, and I haven't even been there yet.
Really?
Yeah, because COVID hit right after I moved out here.
Yeah, that's true.
I ain't got time for that shit.
No, facts. Now, I will say that the thing that I really like cared for oftentimes is okay. That's weird. My watch is doing weird things. The thing that I like mostly about Vegas is that I can drink for free while I'm gambling, and I would just like always bet $1.
Oh my God, I love you right now.
I will put $1 on that. Thank you.
I would like $1 on red.
Right.
Free drink, please.
Free drink. Thank you. Hey, I'm gambling.
Now that I know the secrets to Vegas, I'm gonna go. That's the
Please.
trick, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. $1. That's all you need.
So when you finished up college, what degrees did you end up with?
So I ended up with a bachelor's of science, even though that is not what I went to school for. I originally went to Eastern for music, and I was going to do music education because like
Oh.
everybody said that you need to teach music, and I was like,
Right.
okay. And so I did that, and then when I transferred to Millikan, I actually went into their music program, and I was a voice major, and I didn't do education there because I wanted to teach college, so I didn't have to do education in order to do that. I just needed to do a good degree and then get my master's, and then go off in the world and try to teach college.
Right.
But what ended up happening was like I fucked up in school like royally because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, so I had to like get out of school for a while. I think that I kind of wandered for like a couple of years to try to figure out my whole existence. And then I ended up going back for something completely different. And
okay.
yeah, and that's when I got my bachelor's in science. But even though like it is a bachelor's of science, my concentration was organizational leadership management.
Boy, that's a mouthful of a headache.
Yeah. It's just yeah.
Yeah. And for the student loans I'm paying off for the rest of my life, I make $8,000 more a year.
Yay! Thank you, education.
It's one of the reasons I never went to college. I'm like, I'm going to rack up student loans. I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to get a degree because I'm so fucking ADHD. I will just fall asleep on the textbooks. And I know this. And I'm not going to absorb most of it. And anything I learn, I'm going to take a test and then forget it. So why waste the money and just pay that off for the rest of my life? I'll just have less, because I figure if I went to college versus what I make now, I'd still have the same left at the end of the day paying off fucking student loans.
Probably.
So what's the point? Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why I just skipped it. But no, children, go to college.
Yeah.
Very important. You do not want to work at Long John Silver's or making donuts at 3 a.m. or being a truck driver, because I've done that. It's not fun. Go to college.
I would tell any person that if you have the wherewithal to go to college, that's great. But college is not for everybody.
No,
right?
It's just not. Yeah.
It's not. And, it's so like I am a big supporter of trade schools.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, you know how hard it is to shake down an electrician.
Well, considering I spent half my time around construction workers in my life, yeah. Yeah.
Plumber, a reliable plumber. Oh my God, that's the bane of my existence to try to get somebody to my house to fix shit.
Too bad you don't live around me. My brother would do that shit for like $15 an hour, and he could build a whole house. And I'm not even kidding. He literally knows all the rules and regs, electrical, plumbing. He can do all of it.
My goodness. Okay, I send a list to your brother, and then I'll just bring him out here.
If you paid for his airfare both ways and gave him a place to sleep, he might do it. I don't know.
We'll make it work. I'll kick somebody out of their room or something. Like I said, no, he's staying. Because we got to get shit done.
You need to go to your friend's house for a month.
Right. Yeah.
No.
You got to go somewhere else. Shit, you can have my room. Hell, I'll go somewhere else.
I don't want to be here while you're working on anyways. I'll never sleep.
Right. Exactly. So I'll go somewhere else. You just call me when everything's done. Great. I got you.
Too funny. I love it. I love it. So last question I have. The person you're not married, correct?
No.
Okay.
I do have a partner, but I'm not.
Yes, you do have a domestic partner type person. And no, she's straight, everybody. Don't worry about that. It's not one of those domestic partners.
Actually, I'm a demisexual, which is on the queer spectrum.
Wait a minute, what's a demisexual?
A demisexual is a person who is attracted to another through an emotional connection.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that doesn't always have to be opposite sex.
It's not about sex, right? It's not about gender, rather.
No, it's not. It's really about, having an emotional connection with a person.
So I didn't know that. So how you doing, Cynthia? If I lived around you, I would totally hit on you. I would totally. You are beautiful and amazing. I would totally fucking hit on you. I'd hit on Christy too, but I think her wife would kick my ass, or whatever. Long-term domestic partner would kick my ass. Christy's in the background going, she's short. Okay, well, I think I'm going to flip over here and bring our next guest up. And I'm going to toss you down the basement. Then we'll bring you all guys back up at the end here. And yeah, it's going to be fun.
I'm
ready. Oh, goodness. Are you guys ready for this one? I don't know if you can handle this guy. I don't know if you can handle you some Puck or not.
Don't know if you can handle. You know what? I'm starting to understand why you don't reveal the names of your guests until the show's actually going. Because if people knew that this was the Puck episode, they're like, "Oh, I can miss this. I want to watch."
Oh no, my audience is loyal. They show up for every. I have about 10, 12 people I show up for every single show. It doesn't matter who's on. They're going to be
nice. Nice. All right.
And just I might get 1 or 2 extra off of you, or I might lose 1 or 2. But those things tend to fall. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't have nearly enough draw to be the cause of someone losing an audience, right? It's like my one thing in the atheism sphere. So far, I'm not the cause of any cancelings or any major kerfuffles. That's good. Let's keep it that way.
Right. I was just amazed that all 3 people showed up. And everybody's camera and mics have been working today. So I'm just so fucking excited right now. There's always some kink every single show that I do like this. So
yeah, and that's the price you pay when you do technology stuff with a whole bunch of people. It happens, and
it's fine. I used to have really crappy internet. Puck, it was so bad at the last place I lived. I was direct connected. I had 100-foot Ethernet cable direct connected to my landlord's freaking modem. I'm not even kidding. She had satellite. Children, don't get satellite internet. It sucks ass. She had satellite internet, and you can ask anybody that was around then. I used to get kicked off of my own streams, and I would have the guests just keep talking till I got my internet back. Sometimes it was 5 minutes, sometimes it was 15, and they would just sit there and keep talking without me. I'd pop back up and be like, all right, I'm done taking a shit. And they were like, no, we know it was your internet.
Oh.
Okay, Puck, same question, buddy. Tell us about family dynamic growing up, blah, blah, blah. Tell us about you.
Okay, so my parents had me, and then 10 years later they had my sister. So that's a really big gap. And so like for 10 years, I was raised as an only child. I moved out of home for the last 10 years of my sister living there. She lived home as an only child. So it's almost like we were only children to the same parents, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. He's got 10 years of all the attention. There's nothing wrong with that, I think.
No, it was fine. Except, I think the most interesting thing about me growing up in there with that is that we were raised in completely different ways. Like, my parents, when they had my sister, they were more established in their career, had better income and whatnot. They were just more established, and said that they were able to give my sister a few fun things that I didn't get. I don't hold anything against them for this. Like they did.
I mean, you can do what you can do.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like we were raised especially, I'm Filipino, so everybody in the audience can stop guessing now. And there's certain
Wait a minute. Let's clear this up. Are both of your parents from the Philippines?
Both of my parents are half Filipino, which basically makes me half.
Okay.
So it's not like one of them was Filipino and the other one was some other boring mix of non-Filipino. My mom is half Filipino, and then the other half is Chinese and Spanish. My dad is half Filipino. The other half, as far as we can tell, is Swedish. Hence the very unusual. Yeah, it's a very unusual combination, which it makes so I have one of those ethnic looks. It's like I'm clearly not white, but nobody knows what I am. So all the guessing starts coming out, and depending on where I am, people guess stuff like, "Are you Native Alaskan? Are you asking about?" No.
Well, I'm gonna give myself everybody. I'm gonna brag 1 point for B. I knew you were from Asia somewhere. So I feel like I get a point then. You know, I did not think you were an Eskimo at all.
Okay, all right.
Okay, 1 point for
No,
me.
that's cool. Asia's a big place, though. You know, there's a lot of us from Asia.
Well, you know, I'm not if I was a geography major, I'd have more money right now. I don't know that shit. I don't know where anything is. I know where the United States and Canada is, and Alaska and South America.
Well,
and
just
then
to
once
screw
you
it
get
up a
down
little
past
bit more.
Mexico, I'm gone again.
Just to screw you up a little bit more, if you look back, like anthropologically, Filipinos are more closely related to Pacific Islanders and Polynesians than they are to Asians, the ones on mainland Asia.
Shut the front door.
So I'm, if you want to be super, super technical, I'm actually Pacific Islander. Who cares?
Well, you know, all I'm going to say is no continents broke apart and separated. I'm sure they were all like this and the world was flat. Anyway, let's move on from that.
Okay. Anyway,
so your parents were from the Philippines, or were they born here?
They were both from the Philippines.
And had you guys both here?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, they moved to the United States. They moved from Philippines to Alaska, if you can imagine that. And I just wonder if they like didn't do their research and figure out the difference in climate. I mean, it was
just too hot. This was too cold.
Yeah, it was the mid 70s, so I'm getting like, they didn't have the internet. It's not like you can just Google. It's like Alaska temperature. No, so they moved to Alaska of all the ridiculous places and had me and my sister up there. Here's the fun part, just so we can get the atheism stuff out of the way. They were both Filipino Catholic, which is Filipino Catholic is its own little monster. We know a lot about
I have met a lot of Filipino people that are Catholic. Yep. I was really shocked by that.
Is it shocking because of like where in the world it is?
Shocked. No, just by I've seen where I used to live in areas that had a lot of Filipino and Korean churches, and they were all Catholic. I was kind of blown away by that.
Yeah, if you look back on the history of the Philippines, you can see that it was colonized by Spain. It was the only area down in that chunk of the world that was colonized by Spain. Hence the name, the Philippines, named after good old King Philip. Great guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Cynthia's down there nodding like, yes.
So of course, being the Spaniards that they are, they not only spread their influence, but they also spread their religion and their syphilis. So there's that's why the Philippines is the one place down there that is predominantly Catholic, as opposed to the other religions that you have down there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there's your history lesson for the day, everyone.
Well, I didn't know these things, so this is how I gain knowledge. People have to teach me little by little. Yeah, but then hopefully I retain it.
Yeah, the thing with Filipino Catholic, though, is it's really hard to tell where the Filipino begins and the Catholic ends, right? Like, there's so much in there that's like family tradition and whatnot that gets kind of blended in with church tradition. So it's hard to kind of separate the two until you start going to Catholic congregations elsewhere in the world. And you're like, oh, wait a second. They don't do that. That must be an us thing.
Huh. Interesting. So Filipinos are lean more towards Pacific Islanders with a little splash of Spanish?
I guess the better way to say it is I'm more Moana than Mulan.
Oh. Okay, I had to think about that for a second. I know those Disney characters. I got it.
Yeah. My wife is like, despite how old she is, a little part of her is always going to be 12 years old wanting to watch Disney cartoons. That's fine.
I honestly, I love Disney Pixar. I turn into a child sometimes, and I will smoke a big fatty, and I will sit down and laugh my ass off to some Disney cartoons and cry when appropriate. It's fine. We're all kids at heart. You have to feed that inner child. It's fine.
No, because maybe that's true, but I find myself to be too critical of them. Like I'll watch something and pick up plot points and say, why did they choose this particular angle for this character?
Oh, I catch stuff all the time. I catch errors, on shows. Mm-hmm. Like the doctor picks up the clipboard off the end of the bed and it's got paper on it, then it doesn't, then there's paper on it, and I'm like, yeah, you guys fucked that one up. Like I see stuff like that. I have to make myself don't pay attention that much. You're gonna notice.
Yeah, suspension of disbelief.
My eyes are doing this, where I feel like some people just look at the character. I'm like looking at everything in the room. Oh, there's a bunny, like, I don't know. It's some kind of shit.
No.
So you grew up basically only child till you were 10.
Yeah, and then my sister comes along and ruins everything. And
but you had your own friends at that point. You were running around the neighborhood anyway, so it didn't really matter, did it?
Yeah, no. Yeah, and that was like one of the weird things. It's like, because as I'm a teen, I'm growing up, I'm establishing my own friends and whatnot, and and so I didn't get. That's why my sister had my parents to herself for a lot longer, really, than I did. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it's just that's what happens when you have kids very different in age. Is they grow up in very different ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, the
Absolutely.
big difference between me and my sister, though, and I'm the one who screwed this up, is because when I was 16, I decided not to go through the Catholic rite of confirmation, which is typical of
I
15 to
didn't do it
16-year-olds. And they were like, okay, we screwed up with this one. We cannot screw up with the good one. So we're going to send her to entirely Catholic and Christian schools.
That poor girl.
Yes, that poor girl. So she made it all the
Do
way
you
to
still
like,
apologize for that? I feel like you should.
why me? I mean, like, in a lot of ways, I paved the path to make my sister's life a lot easier, right? Like, I was the one who came out atheist. She still calls going to church make my mom a proud time.
Oh,
Like, she'll post it on her
okay.
Facebook. It's
So
like,
she's
yeah,
she's what we would call a casual Christian.
she is.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
I'm gonna go on Sunday and maybe
as
a
casual
holiday.
as someone can be who has a Saint Michael tattooed on her shoulder. And I'm not talking a little Saint Michael. I'm talking about Saint Michael.
Wow. Well, you can always change that into Lucifer if necessary. But anyway, moving on.
Go.
So did you do the typical high school to college thing then?
Yeah, University of Alaska history. Because, you know, like now this is yet another deviation, because you'll hear this from a lot of Asian and Pacific Islander families. It's like, you got to get into the hard sciences. You got to be a doctor. You got to be a lawyer. Nope, not me. I just found it like to be completely fascinating. I love the study of history. So
Yeah.
and I'm one of those weird people. Like, when I was in grade school, I was really good at math, and I did a lot of academic competitions. The academic competitions that interested me were not the math ones, because I knew I would do well at those. What's the challenge? So I chose spelling bees, because nothing is more difficult than American spelling bees. I don't understand how half of that works. So it's like, you know, it's like I could go the easy way, or I could challenge myself a little bit. Let's challenge myself a little bit and do spelling bees. I didn't do great,
I
but-
was a spelling bee kid. Honestly,
Nice.
I was a spelling bee kid, and I never got to that first person in the tournament, but I was always the backup.
Nice.
I was always the backup. So if that person didn't show, I had it, and I knew that bitch was coming. It was always a girl ahead of me, and I knew she was gonna fucking be there because she was like, I'm the straight A student in the class, and I'm gonna be a cheerleader in a few years and screw up my life. They were all that, you know, every single one of them. So they were just getting the notoriety, getting used to being on stage for the pageants later. I swear to God. So I always knew they would, and it's actually, I have to tell you real quick funny story. We went to the spelling bee, and the head lead person showed up, and I was like, that bitch, she showed up again. And because she was ahead of me the previous year too, and I was really pissed off about that. So we went to the spelling bee. She came in like 5th or something in the whole whatever area, region, whatever, blah blah blah. So we stopped on the way back at this Mexican restaurant, and I had never had Mexican food before. I think it was like 9 or 10 or something, right? 8 to 10. Never had Mexican food before. So we stopped there, and everybody was getting all these like tacos and burritos and taco salads. And I was like, I don't know what to get. And so I got a taco salad, and they were like, do you want guacamole on? And I was like, what is that? And they showed me a picture, and I was like, that looks disgusting. Fuck no, I don't want guacamole on that. I don't even know what that is. Keep that green shit off my food.
Oh.
So I said, just give me the damn lettuce and some dressing and shit. So we all ate and everything. By the time we got done eating, they were all sick. The guacamole was bad. So who really won? Who really won?
No, growing
It's a
up,
true story. The
like-
whole fucking class, all the teachers except for 2, everybody had the
sick.
guacamole except for me and 2 teachers.
no,
Everybody else is sick.
I've never had guacamole, and I never liked guacamole, and I think
I
the
love it.
reason why is because it looks too much like wasabi. Like, that's what I associated with. And you have wasabi in incredibly small quantities, right? Like
Yeah.
a pea-sized dollop of wasabi is
Literally.
good for your entire
It's
meal.
plenty, yes.
When you see people glopping guacamole onto their burrito, just like that sheer quantity, I can't help but imagine that as wasabi, and just looking at it it immediately sets my mouth on fire.
I'll be honest
there's
with
no
you,
way.
Puck. I love wasabi so much that I will put half of a pea on every bite of when I'm eating a sushi roll.
Oh.
I fucking love wasabi.
I'm getting
It
heartburn
gives
from
me
all the way in
heartburn.
Ohio.
Yes, it does give
Just-
you heartburn.
I just
Apparently,
thinking about
after
it is making me cry.
45, it will give you heartburn. But I
Well,
do love
no
it.
spoilers. I'm only 41, so but now
Oh.
I know what's coming up for me. Good constant heartburn.
No, it's not constant.
Oh.
No. So you went off to college and
Yeah.
did that thing, and then what did you do after college? What did you end up having
retail-
a degree in?
Retail management's always been my thing. Like that's
Okay.
the career that I started. That's just what I kept going with. Like
Yeah.
even when I moved from Anchorage to Portland, I moved with a company that it was within the same district. So I just transferred from the Anchorage location to the Portland location, and then I moved from Portland to Cincinnati. And even here, like a few of my first few of my jobs were retail management. I did Container Store. That was a really big one. That's a great company to work for. If you've never shopped at a Container Store, you're missing out. Just go in there and shop.
Extremely expensive, but really good shit.
Yeah, like as soon as you walk in there, you feel like you're getting organized by osmosis, right? Like you're like cool by proxy, just because you're in the. Just because you're somebody saw you in the Container Store, you must be one of the. Just like I mean, I'm on the show, right? So I am now cool by association.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's how this works. You put me on here.
Oh my God,
with
I just got points off of you guys.
No, I'm getting points off of you.
I've had all kinds of people on here. I must be like, damn, I'm undersubbed. Shit.
Yeah, this. I am getting my like. I guarantee you, if you put it on Twitter that I was on your show, I will get reputation ads. But if I post that I was on the show, you would not get anything off of mine. So
okay,
this is purely me milking off of your popularity right now.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I hate to tell you, honey, not a lot of people don't know me, so you're screwed.
Oh, no, that's fine. Like the smaller the audience, the less tense it makes me. Like I've done some shows like Plug. I've done Truth Wanted, and when I see the number of views start to climb up and up, it's like, no, I really don't want to think about the fact that I am in this many living rooms. At this moment, like the manager at the Subway around the corner, because she knows that I did shows like Truth Wanted and Secular Sexuality. She said she's actually broadcast me on the big screen in her living room so that she could watch with her family. I'm like, don't tell me that. I don't want to. I appreciate it, but I don't want to think that someone has me like larger than life size, high definition 1080p in their living room where they can count the pores on my nose. I don't need to.
I just don't think about it, Puck. Honestly, I just don't even. It's just like me, whoever I'm on with, and my friends. We're like on a little stage, and my friends are just hanging out around the stage, And they make cat calls, they make comments, they flirt, they give a shit. It's just like that.
That's why I like this. I mean, this seems like a very nice, casual, relaxed atmosphere. I mean, you got the wrenches in chat, just having fun.
Oh yeah, I just let them go.
Yeah.
The ones that show up all the time, I wrench all of them and I don't have to deal with it.
This is one show I don't need antacid after I'm done doing. I appreciate that.
Oh, thanks, honey. We'll give you an acid if I kick you into the basement now.
A little bit, yeah.
No, I had one more question. When did your wife, how long you been together? Where'd you meet her?
10 years. We met at work. She hired me.
Shit. I think there's some HR issues in there. I better get rid of you quick, buddy.
I haven't gotten to tell this. I haven't gotten to tell this story on the scene very often. So no, one of my first jobs working in Cincinnati was working for an ice cream shop, and she was the manager, and she said, "Yeah, sure, you can work for me." So that's how we met. Now we didn't actually start socializing until after we stopped working together. So HR didn't have to know. But if you must know, they did send us a good amount of goodies for our reception. So they were all on. It was all above the table. They knew what was going on.
That's nice. That's nice. That is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Puck, you all ready to jump down there and hang out for a few? And I'll bring up Miss Thing down here. Now she's played with the dog and went for a walk and everything.
See you later.
Thank you, Puck. She's down there dancing. She's just ready to go.
I would never. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Hello,
the Cabbage Patch. Well, we were alive.
Miss Christy /Leah /Santiago /
yeah,
the only woman I know with gray hair that actually looks really awesome with it. What the fuck?
Thank you. 109 weeks this coming Friday. So I'm sorry, 209 weeks this coming Friday.
209 weeks?
109 weeks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say that can't be because you were died right before COVID. It's only going on a year and a half.
I stopped. It's been 2 years and 9 weeks. It says on this. I'm sorry, 109 weeks this coming Friday on my calendar, which is over 2 years. And I think I should start going in years now instead of weeks.
Well, no, you can do it. You can do it like people do with their babies. It's weeks until they're they're 36 weeks old. I'm like, no, they're 3. Quit it already. Once you get to 1, you can't do that anymore.
And you know, I get it. Before I had kids, I'm like, you guys are dumb. And then I had kids, and I get it. Every week is so special. But then I actually started following.
Depends on how much you like diapers.
Blazing this trail before me. I mean, and just being in awe of how awesome it looked and how brave they were that they posted their, like, you know, here's 4 weeks into it, but because of those pictures and seeing the weeks pass and then only counting once a week instead of like how many days, it's long and takes a long time. And I'm a colorist, I'm a master colorist, I'm a cosmetologist, and so there were days like when it was silver to here where I'm just like, oh my gosh, oh, there's COVID. I'm good. I'll just let this grow out. So I was
let that shit grow. Own it, baby.
Women that did it without COVID. So I am in awe. And I did post it exactly how they did. So other women, and I've had messages from women and men saying that, you know, watching yours has inspired me to let I not color my beard anymore from men. And that makes me feel so good. So
we're supposed to stop coloring our beards
soon. Yes.
No.
Don't color your beard, men. It's debonair. It's dapper. And yeah. And
I haven't grown a beard yet. We'll talk about that in a few months.
Yeah. You do it. It's beautiful. I mean, I didn't even do my hair. Look, this is what we call in my household MBH. MBH is nice for monkey butt hair. It's air dried like 3 days ago. It
looks good. It looks good. But you know, as much as I love your hair, I really didn't want to come on and talk about your hair. So let's move on to the actual question, and we'll get on with that. Stuff. We can get back to the cosmetology thing at the end. If you have more time, we'll discuss more hair. Okay, so family dynamic, where you grew up, siblings, blah blah blah.
I was born to a 15-year-old mother in Iowa.
Wow.
I had to drive pretty far to the hospital, and Iowa City. I grew up in Illinois.
Okay.
My mom did turn 16 a week after she had me. She does like to add that, so I will add that for her sake. So, and it does sound, I mean, a little better, but you know, my mom's blonde hair, blue-eyed. Iowa's blonde hair, blue-eyed, and here's this dark baby with dark hair, a full head of hair. And, yeah, that was fun. And then I grew up in Illinois, which was more culture, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to Tampa when I was 11, 1989, and I have been here ever since. Finished high school, did the swim team thing, and
nice
cheerleading thing, and swim team was way better.
You know, my niece lives in Tampa and has a very successful fitness business there.
There's a lot, that it's fitness everywhere. If you guys follow science, which I'm sure this is the right page for, or right channel for that.
Yeah, actually, that's our shiznit over here.
Bulb conditions. If you don't know what wet bulb, like a light bulb, wet bulb conditions are, look them up. They cause spontaneous death. So you don't want to work out outside too much here.
Oh yeah, no. You want to be in a gym in Florida. Not only the heat, but the humidity is
so much humidity.
Fucking horrible. I hate the humidity there. I live in the high desert. I will never look back. I'm good. Yeah. Humidity, like on a really high humidity day without rain, it's like 14%. No, honestly, our average is between 10 to 14%. And I love it. Like you walk outside, you sweat, and you do this, and you're like, nope, dry.
Good to go. Yeah. Every drop is still on you until you go in.
I lived in Orlando, Florida. I'm going to tell you, I walked from place to place to get a job because when I first got there, I didn't have a car. And then when I got a car, I was like, it's ridiculous to drive. It's like right here. And I grew up in the country. I was very active. So I walked, and I would go into every place and go in their bathroom and try to like get my armpits dry before I walked in, because you just look like a fucking mess. I didn't know that nobody cared there because everybody has that issue. But anyways, enough about me. So you moved down to Tampa and you still live there.
I still live here. Yes, I actually lived in another county besides Hillsborough County. We lived closer to the beach. I went to Pinellas Park High School, which our rivals were Clearwater Beach High School. And
I know where Pinellas and Clearwater are. Yep.
I became a beach bum, and coming from Iowa, it was like coming to paradise. You know, it's totally different.
Yeah.
My partner of 14 years grew up in Florida from Miami to Tampa, back and forth, and so, you know, she was like, "Do you want to live anywhere else?" And I'm like, "I've been there. No, no, I actually don't." So
That's
I mean,
funny.
there are other places. I mean, I
Yeah.
definitely could see myself retiring in Costa Rica or Cuba.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, as long as you know, you could take a bankroll from here and live in any kind of second or third or whatever world country that doesn't charge like we do, and you're rich.
Yeah,
You are rich. I actually met people, this guy in Costa Rica, and he was like spear and net fishing off the coast, and I was like, "Are you American?" And he was like, "Absolutely, man. I'm from like Tennessee." And I was like, "What are you doing out here?" He said, "I got a web-based business. I make enough out here. See that house up on the hill? It's mine." And I was like, "This dude was loaded for Costa Rica."
For $1,500 to $2,500 a month, you can live pretty good in Costa Rica.
Yes, it's absolutely true.
And the cherry on the top for me is monkeys swing from the trees.
Oh my God, those howler monkeys are so like fucking cute. And they're everywhere. Like you just walk down the road and you go, "Oh, there's a monkey."
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I would be the tourist for a while when it came to monkeys, for sure.
The babies are the cutest. They have those little howler face, flat little faces, and they look at you and their eyes look so human. It's weird. And you're like, "He's looking at me, but I want to pet him, but he'll bite me."
I will probably kiss him and get my face bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with a howler monkey mama.
No. I mean, I'm smart with wildlife. I do enjoy animals. And we have someone, let's see, that was really funny. Okay, so first time in Tampa, you got arrested. Okay, here in Florida, there are actual places off of the interstate where you can buy T-shirts that say "Came to Florida on vacation and left on probation." For-profit prison is like is
it the shiznit down there? Yeah. Well, you know, people always say that Florida is bad because of all the people that go there, but that's actually not true. The worst people in Florida are the rednecks that were raised there and their families have been there for a long time, and they are worse than any Georgia or Tennessee redneck. They are some fucked up ass people. Like they are crazy. They play with gators. Like they, you know, apple don't fall from the tree because daddy done took a bite out of the apple. I'm just saying, like, there's some shit going on down there.
I know people get in trouble for putting their shotgun out the window on the 2-lane roads and shooting deer. Like that's normal here.
Wow, glad I never got shot.
City, I can walk to the store.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess that's a good thing.
Yes, but I've been to many of those places. I love going up to the springs where the manatee are starving to death because of climate change right now. The grass is not growing. Yeah. I love spending time up there. And yeah, you hear like in the background of your
You sure got a pretty smile.
No, don't squeal like a pig. Don't do it.
Don't squeal like a pig. Don't squeal like a pig. So you went to Iowa when?
Okay, so I was born there, and we lived
right. But you guys moved to Florida, and then you moved back.
Yeah, so where I lived right on Mississippi. Mississippi separates Iowa and Illinois, so it's called Quad Cities. There's 2 cities in Iowa and 2 cities in Illinois. So I grew up, you know, both, and I have family in both. I have family in California and Massachusetts and Texas and you know, everywhere, all over the place.
Right.
I've been down here since then. And, you know, being in what I'm into now with, you know, I love learning. I really don't like to spend time. I do make myself watch or read something that's just entertainment because I have to. Like
because you guys focus the things you do focus a lot on current events and politics and
history
shit that's going on and a bunch of crap and the lies and debunking and standing up for people and advocating. So yeah, you're busy. Yeah. I would say you should probably watch some comedy here and there. Absolutely.
I do. I spent all day Saturday just watching comedy, checking out new people. I mean, my face hurt. I was
that's so hard. No. Yeah.
Some really good stuff. You know, I do make myself do that. It's just really good for me. But history I found is my favorite. And if there are anybody out there that are watching this, they just have so much extra money that they don't know what to do with, and they want to pay for me to take history classes, I will take them. I just want to take them for fun. I just am obsessed with it. Like, I just cannot get enough. When Puck mentioned history, I'm like, yes. I just, okay, the third time I read Professor Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States was I just finished it. So yeah. I just, and then I love going to claims that are made in there and actually researching them individually and just going down those rabbit holes, reading their journals. A lot of the people that came before us, all of our ancestors, they
wrote journals. Yeah.
Right. So the families kept them and passed them down. And we're talking about generals all the way down to just petty soldiers in the First World War, in the Civil War, and that's real history, that you're reading. And I'm about it. I can't get enough of it. I have found that I have had to put memories, like I have to dig for them in my brain files because there's so much history in there right now.
That's awesome. But there's one thing we haven't talked about.
Okay.
You have a child.
I have 2 daughters.
Oh, you have 2 daughters? Oh, I only knew about one.
Yes, I do.
Do tell.
Jordan is my oldest, and I had her when I was 17, 3 months before I turned 18.
Wow.
Dad didn't show up at the wedding, and so I was on my own. And
damn, what a pussy. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, he is. He's all that and then some. He lives right across the bridge and could care less. Said that she wasn't hers and didn't want anything to do with her. Lots of really horribleness happened during that time, and it was a lot to get over as a young girl, definitely.
Yeah.
And then I did meet somebody, and I got married. And 2 years after we got married, he finally convinced me, that he wanted his own kid, and I didn't want to have a kid and a step and all. But I did, and I am so glad I did. And she's my youngest. Her name is Isabel, and she still lives with me. She just turned 23, and her credit is in the high hundreds. She just paid off her car by herself, and she's about
good
to get
for
her
her.
first apartment.
Oh
my gosh, you guys! Seriously, I might need one of those jackets to help you hug yourself, and like that room with all the soft pillows.
Tell. What's your almost a wife name? What's her name?
Her name is Stacy.
Stacy, that's what I thought. Tell her to get you one of those jackets they put on the dogs.
Yeah,
and swaddle you.
Those heavy blankets. I'm like, she'll say, "Shut up, I'll just lay on you."
There you go. Yeah, that works too. Hey! No sex on here. Not till the after party. We don't talk about that yet.
Well, I've got to go then.
Look at the time. Gotta go. No. So you have a good relationship with your kids then?
Yeah. Yes. Well, my oldest Jordan is doing her own thing. She moved to Arlington, Texas. She transferred from restaurant that she was working at to the same chain to Texas, and lives with a roommate and is doing her own thing. Neither of them have any kids. They're both independent, and even my youngest, who lives with us, she's very independent. She's been very independent, and sometimes I just look at her and how strong and magnificent and beautifully kind and generous and skeptical, and I mean just way ahead of me as far as a lot of those things that when I came out to her before I came out to everybody as mommy's an atheist. She was like, been an atheist since high school, Mom. Why do you think I stopped wearing my necklace with
when did you tell her that?
3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, so she was like, whatever.
Yeah, she's like, I was just like 2 by 2, really all of them. Okay, so then I learned about evolution, and I was like, okay, like she just is very, she just weighs it all out, and she's like, no, really.
Well, let me say 3 things. One, I will have to say that children get their main character and their personality and everything is formed by the time they're 5. and how they are going to enter into the world. So good job on parenting. Number 2, don't feel bad about it. We didn't have, now I know you're a little bit younger than me, but we didn't have like computers everywhere when we were children where we could just go, hey, Google, what is this? We had to like go to the library, find the book, open it up, damn wrong book, go back to the card file, look for another book.
Bring a bike or roller skates.
Yeah.
To roller skate to the next bus stop, to catch the next bus, to get to the library.
See, that's what I'm saying. We were 45 minutes. We had to get a ride into town, which was 45 minutes away.
No. We had to use a map.
Oh, no, we knew where it was, honey. We didn't need a map.
Well, when I moved to Florida, 11, 12, 13, I didn't know the area.
Right.
I do use
I get it.
A map of the city of Tampa to get around. I would get lost, get stuck at a bus station where the hub, and they're like, "Oh, the last bus that you need that left like an hour ago." I'm like 12.
Which one will get me close to this area?
Yeah, no, we have the public transportation in this county is horrendous. The public transportation in this state is non-existent in many areas.
I have to say this because this is absolutely dead on. I grew up in the middle of the woods. So hold on. This. What? You have buses? Who had buses? We did. The town I'm from,
in a similar area.
I have been back there. They still don't have buses. Matter of fact, the 2 red lights they had, they took out one because they didn't need it. So I'm just gonna say that, that's how I grew up. So,
wow.
Well,
yeah, there's most and a lot of city folk in this country don't realize that there are still to this day complete towns with dirt roads. Complete towns without a street light, complete towns without infrastructure besides what their great grandpappy built after the war.
Right.
Yeah,
it's true.
Exceptional,
I have drove through little towns in a truck because it was the shortest distance between 2 points, and drove through these little towns, and there's literally a stop sign and a church and a volunteer fire department, and usually close to the church and the fire department, there will be a little mom and pop convenience store. And then the next town is like 45 minutes away, and that's where the real food is.
And there's no beer on Sundays.
No, which is horrible. Like, really, that's the day you need to drink. You leave church, you need a fucking beer. Let's be honest. Speaking of needing a beer on Sunday, I'm going to bring everybody else back up here, and we're going to make this into an everybody party. Okay, Cynthia, quit chewing.
I don't have any beer. I just have orange soda.
She's a grown woman. Okay. Okay. They could just chew if she wanted to. Is that right?
She said at some point, I got to get some snacks. And I thought that sounds really good, but I'm trying to listen to Christy. Quit distracting me.
When she was talking, I was eating cookies.
Yeah, I know. I was watching you down there. She pet the dog. She pet the cat. She ate cookies. She laughed. She flailed her arms around. She went like this a couple times.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching you in the bottom the whole time, which is great. I love being the host and seeing what the other people are doing.
It's been a great stream as a viewer and definitely as a guest.
Oh,
great! I love that my first stream was with Cynthia and Puck.
I know, right? See, I think that's my skill. I'm good at joining people. Like I find people and they're like, "Oh, I'm available these days," and I was like, with Cynthia, I actually kind of got lucky because you guys all wanted to be on the same day together. I didn't even have to plan you 3. That was just an accident. I screwed up with Puck and didn't put him down on last Monday, so he said, "Yeah, I'll come on this Monday." So I was like, "This is fucking awesome." I had like last Monday I was supposed to have, not everybody showed up and there were some internet issues, but I was supposed to have my brother Khalil / Justin from EA and Jim Majors. So that was going to be a great stream, right? The after party was great.
Yeah.
The after party was lit. My goodness, I'm not ready for an after party like that.
My pretend boyfriend.
Right? After parties are supposed to be like victory laps, not the Royal Rumbles. My goodness.
I had so many
wasn't
trolls,
ready.
we couldn't even keep up with them.
I wasn't ready.
Oh,
I'm
let
not a
that
wrench
guy
on your
in.
channel, so you guys are on your own with that, with trolls. So
I let that guy in because he acted
please
like
be
he
a
knew my
troll.
brother, and my brother did know him. My brother didn't say, hey, like email me and say, hey, B, kick him out of here. He's a piece of shit. Like, thanks for that, bro. But he's so nice. He he's not gonna say anything bad about anybody. He's just like, hey, Jimmy. And I'm like, okay, well, he does know him. Okay, that's cool.
Oh, I think that I saw that one.
Yeah, Jimmy Rico or whatever. He was fucking smashed ass drunk. He kept repeating himself. He went to get, he's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. He takes his headset off and he turns his chair around and he starts doing this. And at the second one, we started counting 2, 3, 4 times to get out of that chair to go to the bathroom. 4 times.
like, okay, maybe I'm starting to get picky, like overly picky, but like I won't even do a call-in show anymore unless there's a call screener. I mean, at the very least, to weed out the trolls and to handle the audio issues, I don't want to be handling this stuff while, like, if I'm hosting or co-hosting the show, like the viewers have more interesting things to talk about than, okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear? Is this coming through? Is this microphone working properly? No, it's like that's what the call screeners are for, right? And weed the troll out early so they don't make it into the calls. And it's never going to be 100%, right? Like I've been calling screening for the ACA for about a year now, right? And it's pretty easy to pull a fast one on us because all you have to do is give us like a halfway reasonable subject. We're gonna
Yeah,
I've tell people that shit, dude.
Don't give away the
like they
secrets,
haven't
fuck.
figured it out. No, but I am honored to have Cynthia here, and Cynthia, I actually still have this. If you remember this artifact from one of our first shows together.
Oh my goodness, I needed that last week.
Oh,
Oh,
that's.
Oh,
I know. That's so special.
Yeah.
I almost feel like I should sing the interstitial right now.
Girl.
Every appearance with
Christy's
you
over
Cynthia,
there going,
involves singing. Just
I know.
sing.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
So this stream
No,
is
it
just
really
so
is. I
beautiful.
When people surprise you with after something like that, a conversation, and you're thinking about it, and you're like, I mean, that really meant a lot to me. I mean, I think about it, I learned a lot, I just enjoyed it, and then they show you months or weeks later something like that, and you're like, oh, they did too. Yeah, it's wonderful. I've met a lot of great humans with experiences like that since becoming freer than I've ever felt before by letting go of all of the things that
Sometimes you just got to.
Yeah, I did have to.
Sometimes you have to. Yeah.
I was fortunate I didn't go through that months-long being angry and the cognitive dissonance happened in real time. As I'm reading it, mother, what? I'm taking notes. I mean, at the real time. No, that can't be. Let me check. God, I have to change my mind. I'm really mad. Like in real time. And then I did spend a couple of weeks just kind of like, I mean, it was live. Like just kind of just almost beside myself. And then it was done. And I have to change my mind. Like I can't back that up with my because I was raised that way. It doesn't work to me. It just doesn't. I was fortunate that when I see something that contradicts a belief, and then I am able to find out that all of the sources that we have to the best of our knowledge contemporarily show that it's true, to change my mind. I have that.
Okay, so let's work with this.
Other people don't. I'm like, okay.
Let's work with this, because one of the things that I've noticed is one of the big differences between theists and atheists is their tendency to either embrace or to disregard tradition. And in a lot of our cases, and a lot of people who are raised in religion, rejecting the religion is rejecting the parents. It's synonymous with rejecting the culture, right? Yeah. So it's not just so much about this contradicts something that I previously believed. No, it's this contradicts something that is culturally ingrained, not just in me, but by rejecting this, I'm saying to everybody in my family, maybe not explicitly, but I am implicitly giving them the finger and saying, you're all wrong.
Yeah.
And so I cannot even begin to guess, although I will guess this is a non-zero number. There are a lot of people in my actual blood family who are more going along with it to keep the peace within the family rather than they are truly believing the religious beliefs. I cannot verify this for sure, but I would not be surprised to find out that this was true.
It's
Yeah.
I don't think it's too far apart because the thing about religion specifically is that oftentimes we believe depending on we believe stuff depending on where we're located in the world, right?
Oh,
Right,
yes,
You know,
absolutely. GPS location. Yes.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly. GPS religion. There we go.
Yes.
And so if you actually just say, you know what, I just don't have a good reason to believe any of this anymore, oftentimes it's kind of like you're rejecting your culture.
Mhm.
It
know.
does feel that way. You feel guilt.
Yeah, you do.
Like
You
I'm
do.
going to harm our relationship. My
Mhm.
mom was very gung ho about, we weren't allowed to say G's because it was half of Jesus's name in vain. Growing up, like, sir.
Oh, my mom wasn't that bad, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or lack of God, or pretend God, or
Think
maybe a God, or
Proverbial Jesus maybe kind of
Idolatry.
adjacent.
God. I don't- Whatever makes you guys
It was
happy.
a lot of church. I love actually having conversations that people were raised not. They were raised completely secular.
Mhm.
My kids were. That has a huge reason why they are the way they are. But when I talk to other people, whether they're 20 to 60, they were just raised secular. I love having those conversations because
Yeah.
I can go back to the same age they were, thinking the same things they were, but given different answers or finding out I couldn't Google it, different ways, and seeing how that just totally goes like this. I was also moved out of a class in Sunday school that was for my age to another class because I asked too many questions.
Mm.
So
That's why I didn't become a minister. They held my collar because I asked too many questions.
This
Right.
child's a skeptic. Go have her vacuum the carpet. In the priest's house. Something. Get her away from here. She's asking too many questions. She wants to know the truth.
Yeah.
I did. When I am reading about something that already has a lot of around the world peer review, and I'm able to read, what their conclusions were and how they came to them. I don't know about you guys. Maybe this is just like a little bit of little extra nerd kink I have, but I have like this relief that's almost like endorphins about, I know the most I can know about this right now. That's like,
And that's
it is.
okay.
And
that-
saying I don't know, when I even realized that could be an option, I was in my 30s. And that alone was like, that's so nice. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know.
And
No.
that's okay.
And I get that though, because every time I learn something about, like for instance, my tiny home, I had it all run off extension cords because I did like a really quick build and got the fuck out of Ohio and came to New Mexico. So I had to I did it all in 82 hours, including shopping, if that tells you anything. So I put everything in my tiny home. I had it all ready and I drove away. No running water and only extension cords for electricity, but I had everything else set. So I got here and then I spent some time around my brother and we did some rewiring. He taught me how to wire things. And then I was like, hey, dude, I want to go to the store and get everything I need to wire my house. He's like, sure. So we go together. He's like, when you want me to come over? And I said, oh, I'm going to do it myself. And he's like, okay. So he came back and I had him wire up the breaker box because that's a lot of power. I want to make sure it was correct, right? And I watched him do it because I'd only seen him do it once. But I wired my whole place. He plugged it all in and everything and turned it on. He goes, didn't pop. And I said, nope. And he said, you did it right. And I was like, cool. And he high-fived me. And I was like, I wired my own house.
Right.
Now, a lot of people out there are like, that's easy. But
I
wanna
feel like
be
that's
that way.
kind of impressive.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I want to be that way. I want to wire my house. Unfortunately, I don't have the skills. So just let your brother know I will be flying him out to Chicago. And so
electricity it exists. It's real and it's dangerous.
I mean,
there's
if your
something as I'm happy
wiring's
to defer
good,
to the experts. All right, rough plumbing and rough electrical. Somebody else can handle that.
We're dealing with poop and death. Let's get the pros.
Yeah. I always said I don't play with something that could bite me and I can't see it biting me. So I would never touch electrical. And I always told people, if you want me to do plumbing, you better pull the shit out and I'll put the clean stuff in. I'm not pulling shitty pipes out for the toilet. My brother will do it. Me, I'm like, I'm good.
Okay.
Huh?
In the Gulf of Mexico, off, like the not ocean, the Florida water, and then the ocean. Okay. There's parts where you can't, you can look, but we have no idea what's in there. And as Floridians, you just dive in and swim around.
I want to say that the extent of my plumbing skills is Drano.
That's I will do that.
Hey.
Oh, I know
how to use a plunger.
I know a science about this. Drano. Check if you have galvanized pipes. If you do, and you put you put anything like that down it, you will ruin all of the piping and replace all of it.
Galvanized.
There are actually there's actually different stuff you can buy for the kind of pipes you have in your house. It's absolutely the truth. Some things are better with PVC. If you have PVC, anything, you have to be really careful with those. If you have steel pipes, copper pipes, whatever. I mean, no, I think it's steel or
copper's the best.
No, copper's for incoming, not outgoing.
Yeah.
The drains. Anyways, PVC is really the best because it's easy to put together. You can keep it warm easier. It's less likely to pop in the.
If you have extras,
most of the stuff they make.
Garden.
Yeah, absolutely. You could do. We'll get into that. We'll get in that in the after party because I want to talk about that shit. I got ideas. But almost everything they have over the counter is made for PVC. So she's right. If you have old pipes, like old lead or cast iron pipes, don't put that shit down or you're going to fuck yourself. Call a plumber, have them stake it.
Right. No, we had a fire some years ago. So so like a lot of our pipes got replaced and we have PVC. So I feel okay with Drano. Yeah, I feel okay with Drano. And the only reason why I got the Drano is just because I get made fun of because I don't like messes and I'm constantly cleaning. And then, my mom made a joke to my eldest niece and said, what does Cindy do? She's like, oh, she cleaning again. That's what she does. and I was concerned that if I, because even though there's this dishwasher here, but sometimes if the dishwasher is full, I cannot leave dirty dishes still in the sink. That's just blasphemy to me. So I have to wash them. And I get concerned about what happens if some of the food is still there. We got to make sure that the pipes are clear because if stuff comes up, then I gotta call somebody, and obviously I have really bad luck with handy people. I mean, they don't like to come, they overcharge. I still got one plumber who came and we were arguing with him about doing something specific to the toilet. If it's the thing that they do to the toilet to make it flush if your ground is not level. You gotta do something specifically to it. B, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's because of the float.
Yeah, you
have to adjust. You have to adjust the float valve and everything in the back, which you have to do every time you install it anyway.
You do, but there's there's these different carts kind of plasticky that you can put under the toilet basin.
Oh yeah. You can
make it level.
Yeah, you can level it out.
Yeah,
they make different.
Yeah,
they make different devices for that.
So, but there's a specific term which escapes me right now, and so we were arguing with the plumber, you got to do la 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 to it, and he was like, I already did la la la. We was like, no, because it's still wanky. It's still doing this here, and I mean, you can't be sitting on the toilet and just doing all that. That's just not okay.
No.
If I wanted to get on a roller coaster, I would go to Six Flags. I ain't trying to
really
go to the John.
If you have that much of a tilt, Cynthia, it's actually better to get a solid board and shave it down on one side and take the angle off same angle you have in the water of the back of your toilet. You can literally take that same angle with a framing square and take that same angle, take the same amount off of a board, put it underneath your toilet, cut the big hole in the center, and that would actually be sturdier. Yes.
Now we did. Now he did. He did what we told him to do, and now it's fine, right?
Okay.
But the base.
I'm telling you, I know this much.
Right. I looked this up on YouTube, sir. I know what I'm talking about.
Gibby Gibson asks, "Are you talking about shims?"
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You gotta
shims.
shim it.
To me, shims are for like woodworking project. I did not even think about the word shims for that.
Yeah, shimming. Yes, you gotta shim the toilet if it's not level. You gotta shim it. And we was telling him, you gotta shim this, and he was like, "It don't need shimming." We was like, "No, yes it does. It needs shimming. Look, it says it on YouTube."
I ain't taking a shit sideways like this.
Right? No,
we
I'm not doing it.
Way
especially
to this.
right. And if I'm paying you to get this right, I don't want you to come back. Matter of fact, he still got to come out because he got to shim the downstairs toilet, and he's still got other stuff to do. But it's trying. But getting this man is impossible, y'all. That's why, if your brother can just live here for about a year.
Oh my God, he's not gonna do that.
Mine is in Massachusetts, and he is a master electrician, not a plumber. So, He's near Massachusetts. Doug Powell is the.
You know what? I know people everywhere. I'll find you a plumber in Chicago. Give me some time. You should get a hold of. Who you should get a hold of is Joe Cool.
Joe Cool.
Who gets that name? That's rude.
You know Joe Cool on YouTube. That motherfucker knows everybody around that part of Chicago.
Yeah,
he's the one that walks around and he monitors the police scanners.
Yep.
And when they pull somebody over, they run over and record it so they don't fucking beat people up. I fucking love Joe Cool. Like he gets high as fuck, and he is a crazy bastard. But he goes all over the place. When shit started coming up, BLM, he went down to Florida. He went to Georgia, South Carolina. He traveled everywhere, just went in his minivan and went everywhere and recorded shit and was like, "Nah, cops, what you doing? What you doing, motherfucker?" And he's been doing that shit for years. He's got like, I don't know, thousands and thousands of subs. Because he is on the cops' asses and he knows the fucking laws. He's like, "Excuse me, officer, your badge has to be visible. What's your badge number?" I ain't got to tell you. Yeah, you do. You work for me. He tells you. I love Joe Cool. He was one of the first people I ever found on YouTube. I fucking love him.
B, do you also watch like the First Amendment auditors?
Nope, never heard of it. Have send me links.
That's what what you just said? Like going to cops and
that's what they do?
That's what it is. They go to jail a lot. They're out there fighting for the First Amendment. The First Amendment says that we can stand outside a police building and take pictures if we want. And if they come out there and harass you, that's
no. I know you're talking about now. I do know who you're talking about. No, Joe doesn't do that. He goes he follows the cops around on the streets. And he's got him and two other guys. And they will record from every fucking angle. Kind of auditing. So if if the cop does one wrong smack or wrong hit, those boys are on it. Because they're so sick of people getting the shit beat out of them for no reason.
Same.
So
and they don't give a fuck what color you are. They'll be there.
So there's an app that my friend is starting to promote now. It's called
that's the word.
Signal 13. And Signal 13 is an app that you can download on your phone that you can load it up. And if you see an incident with the person, with the cop, you can start recording, and then it starts to send that video to different places so people can see it. I had to download it myself, but it's called Signal 13. It's a free app.
So I think now that we're done, and all we're really doing at this point, folks, is just talking. So I think we should go ahead and head on over. I gave you three the link in the private chat.
You better.
So I'll meet you over there. I give everybody about 5-10 minutes, get a drink, take a piss, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go do the same thing. So
I got to go to
you guys all there in about
so I'll be
5 to 10 minutes. And then also for anybody in the chat wants to come on, the StreamYards is posted in the pinned in the chat. And if I do not know you, yes, you will have to show your face. And you better know somebody that really loves you on my panel.
We're gonna have to deal with the general public. I didn't do my makeup. Okay, that's fine. I'll deal.
It's all right. It's all right. Puck will hide you. You can go icon.
I'm not prepared for this.
Naturally beautiful.
You are fine, Puck. You are
Puck wakes up. He goes, "I wake up like this."
Right. I wake up like this.
So
all right.
let me just say.
Yeah.
thank you all three for coming on. This is going to be a great after party. I can't wait for it. Everybody in the chat, thank you for coming. If you can't make it to the after party, I have 3 things to say to you. Take care of yourself, take care of one another, and have some peace in your life. For the rest of you, I'll see you over there. And 5 to 10.